up, YouTube? It's RSMario here, bringing you another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet video. Alright, so we got some pretty interesting stuff to talk about today from Riddler Khu. We've got some pretty interesting rumors, riddles around Kieran and what could be going on with him. And as a parent fall to the dark side. We have more on this counting riddle from Riddler Khu, which is increasingly interesting, but also increasingly leading to nothing. As well as some other theories we have about what's going to be happening in the Indigo disc. So, of course, if you want to continue getting videos like this from me, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell button, do all that good stuff that YouTube requires you to do to continue getting videos from me. Follow me at twitter.com/RSMario128. Like my video tweet or share my video tweet, and I will shout you out at this portion of the video. As well as you can check out my anime preview ranking that I did yesterday. You can check that video out as well. Or to stay up to date on the coverage of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, check out my previous video. Let's get on into this. Alright, so we start off what I like to call the ominous counting riddle. So Riddler Khu over the last week or so has been doing these counting riddles where he's apparently counting up to something. Originally we thought it was counting down, but actually he's counting up. So he started off from 1, and now he's dropped 3 more riddles that put us around 7 now. So this first one he dropped off right here was PPKD 289 banner version. If you look up number 289 on the Paldea Dex, it's Wugtrio. So Wugtrio. Then we have this one right here that has these 6 Pokemon, which, you know, there are 6 Pokemon. So Wugtrio would be 5. This would be 6. And then, of course, the next one being this QR code that he dropped with the Chinese text for still. So, like, he's still counting. And then somebody in the comments, thankfully, island scanned this thing, and turns out it was a shiny Bibaracle, which, alright, that's pretty lit. I ain't gonna lie. I always kind of like the weird colored shinies. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah. So, we have 5, 6, and 7. Alright, so he's still counting. Now, is it going to continue to count? Will he stop at 9? Because there are 9 Pokemon generations. Maybe this is like a Generation 10 thing. I'm not going to hold my breath about that. But it's possible. I mean, because Dino was 1. The Duo was 2. Sandy Shocks, aka Magneton, was 3. Probopass was 4. Wugtrio was 5. The 6 random Pokemon were 6, and then Bibaracle was 7. So, I mean, there's only 2 more left. That's 8 and 9. So, you know, it could be possible that, you know what I'm saying, maybe that's what he's counting to, and maybe there's going to be a 10, and there's going to be a Generation 10 rumor. Or he could just be referencing the fact that there's a new Pokemon that's coming out that's going to have multiple heads. Now, there are 2 Pokemon that this could possibly be. One, and that is the Diplin evolution, which we're going to get a lot of references to in this video. And 2 is the new mythical Pokemon, which is going to be based off of Momotaro. So, either one of these Pokemon could have multiple heads. More than likely, it's the Diplin evolution. Because he's been riddling that for a long time. Unless these 2 riddles intertwine like the snakes of the Cadius staff, I think it's going to be one or the other. Alright, so next, this one. This one right here, it took me a little bit of research I had to do. So he has a poison Mightyena, you know what I'm saying? And then he has like the power bind, or like the little bind item. Then he has like some other stuff here. And I'm like, okay, what does this actually mean? So, this could be a reference to that possible Mightyena evolution. I mean, because I don't think we ever really got anything to that, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, I think we all kind of figured out the Blood Moon thing was going to be Blood Moon Ursaluna. But, you know, this could go back to maybe we are going to get a Mightyena evolution. Or maybe this is a reference to the Momotaro Pokemon. Because remember, we have the bind item here, right? So maybe, you know, the poison, the bind, all this is together. Like, you know, this Momotaro Pokemon is binding things with its power, you know, with its poison chain, which is why the three loyal trio have the poison chain. Maybe he bound them as well. Maybe that were different before than they were after. You know what I'm saying? It could be a situation like, you know, they were able to get the thing they were wishing for. Like, you know, Ogidogi wanted to be stronger. He wanted to be a big, strong Pokemon because he was just a little doggy. You know what I'm saying? And once he became that big, strong doggy, you know, a big, strong Pokemon, because of the Momotaro Pokemon, the price of his wish bound him to that Pokemon, thus the poison chain. You know what I'm saying? That could be what they're saying here, but there's also another tweet that goes with this. So Jordan comes in and says, oh, and Mightyena Evo Cope begins again. And so then Q is like, blame Dina. So of course, Dina is the company behind Pokemon Masters. So of course, if you look up Pokemon Masters Mightyena, you get Hubert. And Hubert is the main character from Pokemon Black and White too.
You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
So it is what it is. All roads lead back to Black and White too. So, or Black and White in some way. So there's a lot more here. Now again, I could be overthinking this, so don't get hype. I could be overthinking this, but I'm just giving you the information I was able to find here. All right, so then we get to the big part of this video here. So we have Darkside Kieran. All right. So Q puts out a riddle and he says, what will he snatch from you this time in Sudachi 2? By the way, he's fully armed. So basically, you know what I'm saying, he armed Robin. Kieran out here snatching niggas' chains out here. All right? He gonna snatch your chain, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it looks like Kieran's gonna steal something from you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are thinking that he's gonna steal Terrapagos from you. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe you're gonna get Terrapagos and he's gonna steal it. Or maybe even you get the Momotaro Pokemon, you know what I'm saying? And he steals it, and that's what makes him evil, you know what I'm saying? Because of course, that Pokemon is subtly related to evil, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that's what it is, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that's what starts the whole zombie thing, is he steals Momotaro from you, and then Momotaro's power creates the zombies somehow. Or maybe he creates the zombies and unintentionally trying to become more powerful himself, thus creating, you know what I'm saying, what I was referencing in that other video where I was like, somebody's gonna die, you know what I'm saying? And you get to choose who lives, I guess, you know. So, by the way, the comments in that video, man, y'all are some Giga Chads, bro. Y'all were able to resist the waifus and save your bro. I have to say, I have a daggone community of Giga Chads. Alright? Sigma males, if you will. You know what I'm saying? So, but back on the topic though. So yes, so more than likely it's gonna be one of those things. So now, the more interesting thing about this is what takes place in the following tweets. So the tweets under it. So first off, we have Jan, who tweets, let me guess, National Dex number 1024. And then Q is like, I assume you are leaking something really important. So now the National Dex technically only goes up to 1017. So that pretty much indicates that we're gonna get 7 new Pokemon in this DLC. And whatever the last Pokemon is possibly what Kieran's gonna steal from you. Now Jan is, I believe, Chinese. You know what I'm saying? Don't quote me on that. So maybe she's on Weibo, and there's a lot more leaks and rumors out there on, you know, Weibo and Chinese social media than it is over here on Twitter. So maybe she knows something that we don't, but maybe the last Pokemon in the Pokédex is what Kieran steals from you. And there's a very good chance that that last Pokemon is probably going to be Momotaro. Does he get redeemed? I want to be his friend. And it says, you'll forgive him without any plausible reason, which, of course, this is a kid's game. Like, they're not going to have, like, a truly, truly, truly evil person unless, you know, he's like one of the big bads of the evil team or whatever. So the next two are probably the most interesting ones, though. So the first one here is from Lumio's Post, fellow Pokemon YouTuber. He says, unrelated, kinda, but how would you rate the dipping evolution? I guess Diplin evolution. Is it cool or is it disappointing? And then Q says it fits Kieran. So this right here is actually pretty important. All right, because one of the first rumors we got, or one of the first like Q clues we got, was the Cadia staff, and that was for the Teal Mask, right? So that was one of the first clues we got about Diplin, right? Was this two-headed snake staff. We know Diplin is two Pokemon inside the apple. You know, one Pokemon is the eyes, one Pokemon is the tail. More than likely, its evolution is going to have two heads. We know all that. But what else about the Cadia staff that you can really think about? Well, here's where I get into theory mode, okay? So the Cadia staff is a snake with two heads around a staff, right? It kind of represents duality, if you really think about it. All right, and duality in like the medical field, the same thing that can kill you also can be used in a specific way to save you. Like the same, snake venom that could kill you could be used to make any venom that could save your life. You know what I'm saying? So more than likely, this is gonna represent the duality of Kieran. You know, he wants to get stronger, but that desire to be stronger is gonna make him turn to evil. You know what I'm saying? So there's a duality with it. And really, that's kind of something that's been in stories forever anyway. I mean, shoot, you know what I'm saying? You can replace Kieran with freaking Anakin if you want to, and it's basically Star Wars. The last one is really cool though, you know what I'm saying? And Prisma Rex asks, but did he succeed? You know what I'm saying? Did he succeed in snatching this from you? And then Q is like, it's like a case of Schrodinger's cat. So I had to do a little research on this, because of course I know of Schrodinger's cat. If you've ever seen The Big Bang Theory, you know about Schrodinger's cat. Essentially, it's a theory of a guy who puts a cat into a box with something that has a 50% chance of killing the cat in an hour. So then he closes the box and leaves the cat in there for an hour. Then he comes back, and the whole Schrodinger's cat thing is, as long as you don't open the box and see the status of the cat is in a 50% status of living and alive. It's both, even though, it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's a probability, you know what I'm saying? It's both alive and dead until you see it and confirm it that it's either one, because it has a 50% chance to be either one. Thus, it's both. So more than likely what he's saying here is that, you know what I'm saying, he succeeds, but he doesn't succeed. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wins, but he doesn't win. Like, he gets the power, but whatever else he's trying to do doesn't exactly work out. And, maybe that's for the best in the end. So, that's about it. All right, tell me if I'm dramatically overthinking this child game story, or am I spot on? You know what I'm saying? Tell me in the comments down below. And as always, people, like, comment, subscribe, and keep it real.